Alright, there must be some way that this will be a little bit better. Okay, gotta wait for it to catch up. Just waiting for it to catch up. And then we'll get started. Maybe everything will be better. Let's see. Are we close? If it's really close, I'm gonna leave it. Oh man, this is taking forever. I'm sorry that this is taking forever. Once everything is all caught up and good, though, everything will be much better. Twitch so I can actually see what's going on. Maybe even type at people. Of course, now everything is going slow. So that's not quite where we want to be. We need to make the screen a little bit smaller, looks like. And then after that we can get started. Can't actually see anything, so that's not good. Still a little off. How's that? We'll have it soon. Alright, so either nothing changed when I changed anything. Let's see. It seems like I've almost got it back on the screen. Once I've got it, we'll get going. So we're still a little bit of a delay behind. Alright. Hopefully in like a couple minutes we'll get going. Well, maybe I'll start and I will I'll keep adjusting it as we go until I've got it.
Wherever have you come from?
No.
Oops.
I detest trickery, but if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place.
I hope my sound is up enough.
It's stuffed. So it's not real for now?
I can mess with the settings a little bit more. Voice volume 100. Duh. Why didn't I think of that before?
I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of?
You know what I might do? Because before I was doing day 1, 2, or I was doing day 1 for each of them, and in order to do that last time, I had to make sure that I had save files for one of the guys completed. I might just run Barak's path really quick because, well, I kind of feel like playing Barak's path. So I'm ready to play his day 1 though. I put down that I was gonna play Daniel's day 1, so I think that's what I'm gonna do because that's what I had planned and that's what I have up. So for now I'm gonna do Daniel's day 1 and yeah.
Daniil Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Yan and stays at her place till dawn. Drink some water. Okay. Now I'm gonna do all the reading that
like usual. Alright, as of today... Sorry, there's noise. Noisy pup. As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down, rather. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Okay, I need to mute this, actually. Okay. Try not to cough into my mic too much. One thing I'm going to do, because that's how my brain works, is I'm going to point out every single difference between the this is the classic HD, but between the original English version and this one. This text is ever so slightly different. It still comes down to about the same thing, which most of the translations are not really doing anything to better your understanding of what's going on, but they're just ever so slightly off of what the original English text was. So you have things like, this was day quest, it is now today's quest. So whether or not that, meticulously needed to be changed, I will let you decide. But I'm going to point them out anytime I notice them. I just realized that my mouse is on the left and my keyboard is on the right. So we'll see if I can play sideways like this. Day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. That, I believe, is the same. Whoops. Okay. I'm gonna have to get used to that. Sorry. The map noise is a little different. It's throwing me for a loop. So is this house.
I had a feeling you would come.
I don't like that they changed the voice actors. They changed a bunch of the names, so they kind of had to. So, that's unfortunate, because I really appreciated... Oh my goodness. I'm moving my mic around, it's stuck in my hair now. And I don't know if that could be heard before, but, now my microphone is stabbing me in the neck. Alright. But, I was saying that the voice acting is changed because they updated some of the names and things, and, I thought that was really unfortunate because I really appreciated the original voice acting. So just pointing it out. Did the sounds from the outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan, and then something snapped loudly. No, I heard nothing. Because we're Daniel. That's just how we're gonna be. I think there are strangers in the backyard, by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. Well, I'd like to thank you for your hospitality, for bed and board. Board and bed. I keep mixing things around. I sincerely hope you have everything you need, because I'm very happy to have you here. Daniel, is it? That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Probably, if I called him Daniel, you wouldn't, because, I mean, it could be pronounced that way as well, but... Could you please tell me where your ruler Simon Kane lives? Are you willing to trade the company of a charming woman for that of a dreadful old man, even if he is a sorcerer? That's so sad. But Simon won't go anywhere. He has always been. He always will be, even if the moon were to fall to the ground. Please stay with me a little longer. Simon is a sorcerer, did I hear you right? Is that the secret to his longevity? Are you in that much of a hurry? Do come round. The canes are asleep now. Take your knockabout coat off. Have a rest in my bed. Let me warm your hands. You were so anxious to see Simon, as though your life depended on it. My life, yes. Now that my laboratory is on the brink of destruction, my whole life's pursuit depends on that remarkable man. If he has really managed to live that long, then his tissues will help me defeat death. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. My enemy is inevitability. I am challenging the forces of nature. I don't understand. Show me where Simon lives. It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible on Bridge Square. But could I please offer you a piece of advice? I need no advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak to the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I will have some advice that maybe have helped you, if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. Unless I forget.
My lacquer is cracking, see?
I can't hear anything. Because we're Daniel. Daniel walks into a wall because of the weird angle that I'm at. I am going to skip these two lovely conversations. They're not really necessary. I think that I may have gone through them in my YouTube videos. So everything looks strange. Okay. And I have been playing along. No, I haven't been playing, but I've been watching my friend play. And that has been fantastic. So I'm used to the way that his screen looks. Does not look like my screen. That's my map button. Oh, so we're supposed to talk to Maria and Simon. First, I was gonna go talk to somebody else. Am I giving things away? I don't know. Okay. My mouse will not move on the surface.
In growing old, we become more foolish and more wise.
I couldn't quite hear what he said. I need to adjust my microphone a little bit so I can be maybe like this. Ow. Okay. Well, it wasn't my eye, so that's all that matters, right? Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. I cannot believe it. It cannot be. What? No. Brain, just... nope. My brother was murdered last night, under the strangest of circumstances. But for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather... eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. There are witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Barak. Was he not the very person to advise you to come here as well? Yes. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? I am no fatalist. Could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Really? Even though we were uncertain. I'm not just picking the shortest response. We were uncertain of when you would arrive. What just happened? I scrolled down. My brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. So you presume the queen knew of the blow and sacrificed itself for a pawn, but why? To grant you victory over death. Was it not your ultimate aspiration? To help you, Simon seems to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with a body of evidence. What did he do? It is of no importance to me what exactly he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of the murderer. Everything has gone to rack and ruin. I wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who is in the wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, it seems there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be called the murder of Bachelor Denkovsky. I will help you in every way I can. I'm convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. Whoops. The mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate is intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Fine. I'm fine with this course of action. Let's go talk to Victor.
The town will meet its death at the hand of Simon's murderer. That much is certain.
He has many different things to say. I don't want to read any of them. I'd like to speak to Isidore Barak first and foremost. Well, that is a reasonable thing to do. Moreover, that is what etiquette demands. After all, it was he that invited you here. However, I don't think that he has informed anyone in the Crucible of these plans. I hope you don't get me wrong. You are our guest, and we welcome you. Where does Isidore live? Somewhere in Earth. This used to be called land in the original. And that is the right third of the map. Earth is the name of the lowest part of the town, closest to the abattoir. I haven't been there for several years, and I don't really know these slums all too well, especially since they were rebuilt after the fire. Victor has visited Isidore from time to time, so speak to him. He is in the wing next door. Fine. Alright, I think pretty much everything he says is going to end up that same way of just, I don't know anything about it. Go speak to Victor. Okay. So we're just going to go speak to Victor. Should I talk to Maria first? I don't remember. Talk to Victor. It's the one I want to talk to. It's the Kane I like the best.
The true way to be deceived is to think oneself more knowing than others.
The famous Dr. Denkovsky. Your arrival is a great honor for us. Victor Kane at your service. Daniel Denkovsky at yours. I foresee that the things that have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions, games that we play with passion, will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I'll do my best not to disappoint you.
Perhaps old Gimsky is setting a trap for this newly arrived haruspect.
How can I help you? George has told me everything, which is to say he told me very little. Yes, he just... Well, this is a thing, but I don't really know anything about it, so go ask Victor. Etc., etc., etc. But it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So do you agree to help us? I have. May I ask why? I want to solve a puzzle. I even like having so little information. It is a challenge to my intellect. I am prepared to answer any questions you may have. When was Simon seen last? He sent Isidore home. Then, an hour later... Oh, my elbow. He came to this hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and receive no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking of neither meat nor water. Then in the morning he was found dead. How was he found? Servants discovered him in the morning. Didn't he just say in the morning? Yes. Yes, he did. The room had been ransacked. Everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken, I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the Focus and will remain there for the prescribed amount of time. Do you suspect anyone? No, all I know is that Isidore was with him that evening. No one can enter the Focus against Simon's will. Perhaps a higher being could, but no one else. Like an angel of death or something. Yes, something like that. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic. If you are, then allow me to say I do not share your feelings. I apologize. And how did Simon himself get in there? He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Alright, so how can I help you? Take a look around. Trust your intuition. Do whatever you like. Speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, Doctor, and you will find them. Keep looking till the last breath. I am sure your rational thinking will help him. Me. You. So Isidore is the only lead. How can I find him? I'll show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not be an ordinary person. I can't imagine them even being a person. I fear that it could only be fate, wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I don't believe in fate.
Who is it walking upstairs?
His voice was more like this in the original. How can I help you? There's no need to worry. Join that ad. I have no idea what my graphics are set to, or any of the settings for the game. Fire, not bad. Lighting, pretty good. Look at the cracks and the detail in the ceiling.
The Sabarovs' wait is over. They've always wanted an heir.
I kinda like her voice. You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. I am an adventurer. I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. What else have you seen in that dream? I'll tell you when I think I can trust you. I hope that happens soon.
The caprice of our temper is even more whimsical than that of fortune.
Now listen closely. The time for collusion, secrets, and alliances has come. I'm going to ask something of you. I'm not used to that. I'm used to holding the reins, but you are not harnessed, so it would be unacceptable to address you in this manner. I find solace in the fact that my request will be welcome with you. It fits the style of your venture. I am not an adventurer, and my job is no venture. I hope it becomes... Whoa. One. It never becomes one. Yes, you'd better be polite. I don't take kindly to orders. I am a creature of liberty. I apologize if my words come across as mangled and silly. I am truly not used to asking, but the nature of my request demands complete and selfless humility. Just imagine me begging and kneeling, and believe me, I do feel that way. No need to kneel. What did you want to talk about? Today's death was the first, but it won't be the last. Simon has opened the score of irreplaceable victims. Soon their number will multiply. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people when the lines of their fortune cross yours. Before any of them dies, there will be a moment when you will be able to intervene. I know that for a fact. Who are these people? That doesn't matter. I think it does. What was destined to happen will happen. You can be whatever you want, but not a coward, choosing to hear no evil and run away from reality. I will give you a list of those I know of. These people are bound to you. What in the world is going on here? Are you trying to flirt with me? Yes. You haven't been told, have you? Didn't even cross my mind that someone may be unaware of my abilities. No one here dares doubt them, for they are evident. Yes, the mistress of every ruling house possesses special abilities. I am learning to see the future and transform the present. This fact offers your words a different degree of authenticity. Will you comply with my request? Will you save the lives of the people I named you? Answer me before going back to Ava. Alright, if it is truly within my power, I'll do my best to save their lives. So, of course, the Canes, the Stomaton brothers, Maria, Ava, and Mark. Okay. Okay. Can we get out of this? Okay.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
Creepy. We, the Canes, have always been out of touch with mundane reality, but we are driven by love. Love can be furious, funny, and blind, but there's never a need to make excuses for it, is there? What exactly did you see in that dream of yours, the one that had to do with me? I'm not sure I'll be a great talker right now, especially on this topic. All these paintings are the same. I'm also not going to talk to them. We're gonna return to Eve. Oh, sorry if I slip up and call them by their original game names. Everything's so pretty. Those two are gone. I don't think I even looked at them. Executors and masks everywhere. Kind of scared me. The noise. Don't need to return to talk
I had
to
a
Eve.
feeling you would come.
You told me to come. That ominous singing outside the window is gnawing at me. You could be singing at a time like this. Very little time has passed, but I feel hungry and exhausted again. I can't hear anything. Okay. I don't know why we returned to Eve. Well, what happens if we say the first one? Oh, goodness. Since you've decided to fight death, you will... Oh, okay. Never mind. I didn't hear anything. You'll have to be very careful. It's September. You will be dying with every breath of our air. What does September have to do with it? The steppe is full of various herbs. They fill the air with dizzying vapors. White whip, twire, and swevery are dangerous in August and September. That's not what it was called. It was like Severe or something. When herbs surrender their juices to the sun. People tend to get headaches this time of year. Heart sufferers lie in bed with pains. My heart aches too. How do you people live here? Twire is a rare herb, so usually it's bearable, but this year it's unbelievably plentiful. The elderly say that this is phenomenal. Nothing like this has happened before. They think it's a bad omen. Well, I don't believe that. But the air is droning. Can't you feel it? Don't you feel dizzy? Yes, the air is heavy. You need to sleep often. Never go hungry. Drink more water. You need to look after yourself properly. If you feel sick, forget everything else and get some rest. Otherwise, you may die of a heart attack or bleeding. Be careful, alright? Both my heart and mind are strong enough. Okay. Didn't need to go back to Dr. Eve. Really didn't. Okay. Okay. Do I have 5 bottles of water yet? I don't think so, but I'm gonna see. I only had 4. Very unhappy with this turn of events. Sorry. I love looking at the water, and the reflections in the water. Everything's so pretty. Okay. Oh, I have 5. Did I start with a bottle of water? I'm not sure. Where am I going? I was just gonna raid all of the trash cans in the park. Where am I supposed to be? I won't check every. I was gonna say chest. Trash can. Trash receptacle. I want this and this and that. Oh, I forgot to check. Oh, that's so cheap. Just buys everything. I just want everything. I'm gonna sell these. And then I'd probably get more for them if I sold them tomorrow. Maybe I should sell them tomorrow. I'll sell them tomorrow. Do I need money today? What is today? Okay. Where am I going? What am I doing? They asked me to do what? Oh, I'm supposed to go to Isidore. Isidore? Okay. Okay. Because I was just like gonna randomly start doing something else. Okay, we'll read Barak's letter. My dear Bachelor Dankovsky, it was the most disconcerting to learn that the powers that be have the intention of shutting down the laboratory that owes its fame largely to your own research in the field of thanatology. Is it true that your detractors have branded your studies scientifically stillborn? Rejoice, Bachelor, for there is an observable case that will quell the obscurance that rejects the research of death, aging, and necrosis as a subject that lacks academic viability. This case, were you to document it, would go a long way towards restoring your reputation as a scholar. The subject in question is Simon Kane, who has ruled the town where I live for as long as I can remember. This man's longevity transcends the boundaries of what is plausible. It is phenomenal, no less, and I struggle to give an explanation of it with what scientific means I have at my disposal. Make no delay, there is a sensational discovery to be made here, a breakthrough that will not only save your laboratory, but also revivify your studies and greatly increase your scientific renown. Your humble servant and faithful colleague, Isidore Barak. P.S. I spoke to Simon on your behalf and he has kindly agreed to facilitate your effort. Daring ideas and far-fetched projects are traditionally very well respected in our neck of the woods. Okay. So... Doesn't watch where I'm going. Ah. I just want bandages. Okay, for a second I forgot where I was going again. It really took me way too long to figure out what I was doing when I paused earlier. It's too good of a deal to pass up. Wait a minute, I should be buying the dried fish for tomorrow. Darn. Yes. So that means I bought all that fresh meat and I should have been buying. Well, we'll see when I head back to the cemetery what I get. If I get 3 bottles of milk, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna go this way. This is faster. Oops, I got stuck on the ground. Smells like flesh burning, huh? A mistake then. Gotta keep looking. Come on, fellas, let's find the bitch. Haven't combed my backbone yet. Where's the patrol? Have you murdered them too? Oh dear, oh what have you done? How is it? That was no Shapnock. That was a girl, a living girl. You get lost, never set foot here again. Neither of those really made sense to say. But in the fire she is not to burn, for she is made of clay. Wrong, all wrong. Hardened, she must fall apart. Murderers. Well, what have you done, you dimwits? Probably. Makes more sense to say. There we go. I was gonna say, I better get these items. Let me tell you how difficult this would be without the revolver in these beginning days. Oh, I wonder if you could hear my jaw crack just now. That was my teeth clicking. Foul murder occurred here this night. No unauthorized access allowed. Inspecting the crime scene is strictly forbidden until further notice. Who was killed? Well, you're not a local, sir, so you're unlikely to understand the loss we've suffered. Isidore Barak, great surgeon, a benefactor to us all, and an all-around skilled doc. An outstanding man, beloved and well-respected by us locals. Does it really always have to take the very best? What a foul time to live in. I knew him. I'm a doctor, too. Whoever killed our doc must surely be looking to get us all killed. Isidore could cure anything. He also knew how to make cuts or incisions because he was a warden. He knew his lines alright. Like I said, it all makes sense. Whoever killed Simon took Isidore's life too. And this is merely the beginning. What makes you think the two cases are connected? Who would have had the heart to attack such men? If you had asked me yesterday, I'd have told you no one would dare inflict such an ugly wound on this town. But if there is someone, it has to be just that, someone. Although it looks fishy, if you ask me, the thing was no man. That's what I think. Explain yourself. See, this murderous deal is all mysterious. There's a talon stuck in the victim's chest. Go ahead, bend your arm at the elbow, good sir. Yeah, like that. Here you go. That's how long it was. It broke off. There was dust on the floor, for the deceased had been a renowned stepwalker, and the dust was all covered in hoof steps and the like, traces of a sharp bone, I guess. As if someone was using a walking stick round there. I'm telling you, it's her, the Shabnakadir, the clay man-eater. I want to inspect the building. Been assigned to this post by Alexander, the head of the Sabrov family. His house is in decline right now, but is still powerful and very much respected, for it is they that's been responsible for maintaining wordly order and public safety in the town since olden days. Please kindly address your concerns to him. There's their rod. You just take that road up there and get to the cape. As for me, I'm not authorized to let you in. You should have said so from the start. Okie doke. My mouse is not turning very well on this surface. Okay. I am gonna make a small detour. Alright, I'll sell stuff when I need to. Okay, come on, mouse. You can do it. You can do it.
I've got a firm hand.
Okay, so I finally get to see you. Yes, you really do look like a messenger of sorrowful times. In any case, welcome to the Rod. Our meeting is quite significant in a way. Facing the changes with open eyes and taking the first blow is my duty. Do you think we're on the verge of an especially unhappy era? No grim events have clouded our existence since last summer. The country has cured its war wounds, commercial communications have been repaired, astrologists expect nothing ill. Do you hold astrologist opinions in high regard? Sometimes I have to. Are you an astrologist? I'm a ruler. Astrology can be very curious, but I cannot allow it to influence my decisions. I have to act according to factual circumstances. Would you agree? Definitely.
The outcome was to be expected, I'm afraid. Simon was doomed.
Oh, I love making contradictory statements. So you've come to meet with Simon, haven't you? What can I do for you now? I was actually invited by Isidore, so I came to meet with him first and foremost, but now it turns out that he's been murdered, yes. Looks like the murderer is always one step ahead of you, doesn't it? The same one that took Simon's life too. At least that's the conclusion suggested by the information at my disposal. Same pattern, same signature. Were there any traces? Look, I haven't been there myself. I'm quite content with interrogating suspects, especially since we already know who we're after. We can join the hunt you can join the hunt, by the way. I can describe his features. Who is it then? You wouldn't believe it. His own son. The fellow came back after being away for quite a while. His father had sent him to study surgery when he was but a greenhorn. Quite a lot he has learnt, huh? Wandering scholar turned evil to the bone. All of that just to grab the inheritance. Wait, so how did you figure that out? In all honesty, it's hard to explain that to an outsider like you. Do you believe in such a thing as clairvoyance, Bachelor? No. Well, you should get to know my wife then, or better yet, those who have already had opportunities to witness the power of her prophecies. Former doubters first and foremost. Rationalist. She's got something to say to you too, by the way. So your wife called out Isidore's son specifically. No, not specifically, but it all adds up, and the circumstances of Simon's death make you wonder too. Isidore's son arrived here last night. The timing speaks against him. It even matches the time it takes to get from the Crucible to Isidore's house. That's not enough. I'll have to take the investigation into my own hands. Is there anyone who can be of help to me apart from your wife? There are very good analysts in our town. Everyone is more or less superstitious here, except for one Yulia Larasheva. Perhaps a most level-headed and reasonable person. The only person to remain skeptical about Katerina's talents, too. Without a shadow of a doubt, she has her own picture of events. She always does. Exactly the person I need. Okay. So, I think I got out of going to talk to Katerina, which I'm totally okay with. I am gonna go around in a silly way. Okay, bread, which I can't afford. Clicks it, like I'm gonna be able to take it. I'm gonna sell this and this. I'm gonna wait till that costs more. I'm not selling my gun, oh my goodness. And I'll sell kerosene, yeah. Okay, there we go. Before I accidentally use it or something stupid. Okay, bread, bought. I'll drop a save. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life here? Okay. Actually, I won't go into the tavern. No. Actually, I probably could have gotten some trade items while I was right there. Whoops. I'll hit it on the way back. I kind of want to go back to that one shop I had been into that was near the park so I can get that dried fish. Not that I can afford it, but I'll sell something. I started with a pair of gloves that I don't need. That's right, I just refilled those. Habits. Nothing here. Okay, I wish my mouse turned a little quicker. On certain days I'll have to play on some other surface. Find a book or something. Okay, and Julia gives us all the quests. I kind of want to just skip through all of her texts, but I'll read it quickly.
My chest seems to be filled with cotton wool.
Okay. I seem to have lost any capacity for observation. My mind is out of tune, no things longer add up. Before I had no trouble forming a trustworthy tessellation out of the most imperceptible contingencies. Now I simply cannot get my head around it. Could it be that I am dying? The steppe air is way too thick, and that's what causes it. Oh no. Herba Tivernae is in blossom, I grant you, but then it blooms every year. Every year the steppe is filled with its stupefying vapors. The issue I'm having, however, has nothing to do with fatigue or perplexity. It's just that I have lost my ability to make distinctive events coincide. Everyone has that ability. You don't seem to understand what I'm saying. Let me elucidate. A single word someone utters may precipitate the birth of their own murderer. This line of oh my goodness, that word was barely an intellectual novelty, and it is particularly particularly relevant in our neck of the woods. I sometimes feel like I could touch the notions of cause and effect with the tips of my fingers, but now I'm being tedious, I reckon. Not at all.
I'm afraid it's natural. Simon was doomed.
So you've traveled all the way here only to find that both people you wanted to see were brutally murdered. Is this how the story goes? I do hope that your visit is not in any way related to these most unfortunate circumstances. Oh, okay, I have a lot of things to say. I have to find whoever it is that killed Istor and Simon, and I wanted to ask for your help. Saburov told me that you have a gift of all manner of investigative inquiry. I am certainly no better investigator than you. I never had a chance to search for a murderer before. The best I can offer is to fill in the blanks with whatever mysterious supernatural entities seem most fitting. Shabnakadir is the simple man's scarecrow. I would have followed a different narrative. What's that word that you've just said? Shabnakadir, you mean? Steppe demonology describes it as a kind of golem belched up by the earth to punish all manner of delinquency. It is shaped as a young woman but made of clay and exhumed bone matter. An unnerving concept, is it not? I've always suspected that primitive worldviews still exist in the remote corners of our country, but I couldn't imagine they would be so active. I know you would be exasperated by this discussion. Sacrifices, bovine tails, handfuls of milk teeth, and a glass beaker. You may forgive this to children and steppe people, yet having the same notions reiterated by someone surrounded by books on natural history, this must be quite vexing. How would you explain this? The answer is bound to irritate you even more. The tales are true. Bah, you're joking, of course. I do hyperbolize a little. It is beyond debate that Shabnakadir exists. What is dubious, though, is that bovine tails and milk teeth offer genuine protection from her, which is to say sympathetic contrivances that these may be of some use to children and people from the steppe, but are explicitly ineffectuous for someone like you and me. We are too deprived of the scripture codified in ancient soil. So I'm supposed to write off a bad harvest as a sign of the steppe spirits are angry now. For crying out loud, Yulia, you are a mystic. Saburov is mocking me. We have no choice but to acknowledge the rules enforced by the steppe. We tried to ignore these rules, to place ourselves into the framework of advanced modernity. To no avail. You can call these demons what you want. You may refer to the hair eater as time, if this will make you any happier. I am comfortable with a more juvenile vernacular. It is what I'm used to. Okay. I will find a rational explanation for the crimes of this man-eater by the evening, if you help me, of course. In this case, I would suggest so much text that Simon was poisoned by the Canes, I would have thought, but I know their family all too well. Their mutual loyalty is only rivaled by their arrogance toward anyone who is not one of them. They hold the princely sage who stands at the head of their family in high esteem. They believe that a single dishonorable act will tarnish their name for generations to come. I doubt any of them would have stooped to this, no matter whether they wanted to or not. But did they want to do it, I mean? In all likelihood they did. Their respect for Simon was nothing compared to the adoration felt by the common townspeople. After all, every Cane suffers the same kind of benign insanity that leads to people pursuing their own fantasies, and little else other than that. This indulgence is something that Simon would likely stand in the way of. So you think the cause of death is poison? I do believe you understand that he died in focus, really implies. Do you know what the Canes refer to as focus? You don't seem to grasp the semantics of the term. These are the Canes for you. These kind of innuendos are their forte. Well, what is this focus, then? The focus is anything but an abstraction. Quite the opposite, in fact. It is governed by mathematically rigid regularities. You see, no one but the owner of a focus may get inside. This can only mean that Simon had brought the killer in with him, or rather within him, since no physical object may be brought into focus either. How do you know that? Who doesn't? The Canes are notoriously passionate about all manner of synthetic anomalies. They will never pass up the opportunity to devise there's a word. Construct that would allow them to warp space. challenge physics and manipulate optics. Metaphysically, a focus can be compared to a camera obscura. Do note that the name is not unfitting. No, it is entirely impossible for someone to get inside. Curious conclusion, but an incorrect one. Simon was disfigured and bleeding. His bones were broken. Is that so? Well, this does introduce a different perspective. Did you say Simon was the last person to see Simon? Isidore was the last person to see Simon. The question is, who did he see before? The sun had not yet set when Isidore returned from the steppe. However, he came to Simon as well after midnight. The question naturally arises, where did he spend the missing few hours? How do you know all that? I think you still fail to grasp the entirety of your predicament. The rumors spread like wildfire here. One of the children saw Isidore come home. They were waiting by the entrance, eager to hear a step story or two. So the persecution of Isidore's son is based on the testimony of a child. That is what Saburov claims. Was Isidore seen with Saburov by any chance? He was. He warned Saburov of an upcoming storm. Alright, let me suggest then that while he was in the steppe he saw or learned something that he wanted to report to all three families. In this case, either of the Ilgimsky family should have been on his itinerary, especially since Barak was one of their own men. Really. Definitely. The Bull Project from the abattoir to the railway is controlled by the Ilgimsky family. If Isidore's discovery had anything at all to do with the kin, Isidore would have certainly related to Vlad. So do make sure that you pay a visit to the Lump. That's the name of the Ilgimsky mansion. Another fitting name, wouldn't you agree? Thank you, Yulia. What would I do without you? Okay.
As the mind endeavors to reach one goal, the heart insensibly drags us towards another.
I doubt that I can do it on my own. Tell me plain and simple, what do you make of all this? So I've heard. A wisecrack I know says that while you were trying to complete the portrait of a killer, the killer is busy painting yours. Hilarious, is it not? The hunter becomes the hunted. However, to put it bluntly, you have become the keynote of this particular plot. The intrigue is so rich it will keep you busy for a week, if not longer than that. What would you do if it were me? If you want my advice, I would trust what our feudals tell you. The perpetual triangle of influence means that every party concerned will do their best to use your authority to their own benefit. I'm not that conceited. Perhaps people of lower standing would not try to use me. It is more likely that people of such standing will be much too scared to cooperate given your position. You may want to try your luck with the shadow cabinet of local nobility, the women of influence. They know much more than the simple townsfolk, yet they care much less than the families in power. Who are these lady aristocrats? Lady aristocrats. Such a way of saying it will be of relevance strictly within the specific context of values and perceptions characteristic of a backwoods hole like ours. The catch of that is that the aristocracy is not defined by birthright here, rather the status is granted by the degree of enigmatic fascination that a woman is possessed of, questionable background, audacity of demeanor, you know, the whole assortment. Do tell me who these affluent ladies are. Lara, Ava, yours truly, and lastly but not least, Maria. I wouldn't listen to Katerina if I were you. Her morphine habit has turned her into a walking corpse. The others, however, are liable to deceive. You don't like being lied to, do you? I can't stand it. It is better to die than to lie. I see. Perhaps you like being played with, then. Even less so. In this case, Maria seems to be your best bet. She is too arrogant to lie, and too respectful to dare play with you. She should value the affection of someone this proud. But I digress. What is your intended course of action? I need to think, if you please. I will ask more questions if something else crosses my mind, especially since you are one of the lady aristocrats. Okay.
This girl is a changeling. She's not the murderer.
So you have traveled all the way here only to find that both people you wanted to see were brutally murdered. Oh yeah, we already read that. Okay, so there's still so many things to say. I've yet to meet anyone who can help me in the slightest way to find the killer. Do you have any relevant experience? Do you know how a murderer may be found? Not really, but I hunt the killer of all killers in my laboratory. Incidentally, it is more than possible that the killer is hiding in the house of Anna Angel, a thespian of sorts. Now there is another woman worthy of attention. In fact, I heard some ghastly man covered in blood was seen entering her house today. How do you know this? The town is a small place, Bachelor. The wind carries rumors with falling leaves, mixing birds' feathers with emotions. We all know one another so well here that we are sometimes able to hear each other's thoughts. A family trait, if you will, but that being said, I doubt that the man in Anna's house is the real killer. Where does this Anna live? She lives in a mansion that once belonged to a family of exiles whose political views led them to a far-out town like ours. Because of some ill-conceived sense of camaraderie, they were happy to give shelter to a runaway actress as soon as she told them that she was persecuted by the powers that be. A few years later, they died suspiciously, if you ask me, leaving Willow Mellow, their daughter, in the care of their companion. Willow died soon thereafter. Okay. Mysteriously. They all died of natural causes, allegedly, even though Willow was buried in a tightly closed coffin. The body was examined by Isidore Barak, however, and he's not a man who would cover up a crime. Anyway, you would do good to take a look at the house yourself. The mansion is known as the Willows. It stands by the gullet in the earth. Anna, huh? Well, I'll get to know her. Okay.
The most subtle folly grows out of the most subtle wisdom.
Could you tell me about Lara? I'd rather not speak on the matter. You will know Lara well enough as soon as you meet her. My relationship with her is complicated, as you wish.
I keep forgetting the most basic things these days.
Do you like Ava Yan? Very much. It wouldn't be much of a stretch to say I absolutely admire her. Yeah, same here.
This girl is a changeling. She's not the murderer.
Not quite, but in any case, I hope that getting to know me will not become a problem to you. Okay.
I should let some fresh air into the room.
Good. So, we've been told to go see Anna, Gimpsky, Lara, Eve again. I think, am I supposed to talk to Maria again? I don't think so. But I think Anna, Lara, and Eve give us our other 3 quests for the day. I don't remember what talking to Olgimsky does. Is that part of the day quest? Not the quest of the day. Today's quest. So I guess I'll go see Lara first. Maybe I should have gone to see Anna first. Because she's kind of the most out of the way. I'll go see Olgimsky and then I'll go see Anna. And I have to remember when I see Anna, I want to go back to the tavern. Not that I have enough money to buy trinkets. And when I go see Eve, I want to go to the cemetery.
It's nice to see you.
You were the person that came to Maria Kane in a dream. I recognized you straight away. My name is Lara Ravel, and this is the shelter. You are always welcome here. My name is Daniel Dankovsky. Let's be friends now. I prefer being friends with everyone. You always have guests, but your face is sad. Well, yes, I'm a mistress of this house after all. It doesn't mean I'm a mistress, mind you, not with a capital M. I won't ever become one. But I can also serve people to the best of my ability. Who are the capital M mistresses, then? The mistresses of the town, we call them the Dream Mistresses. Kaina, Olgimskaya, and Sabarova. Now, after Victoria's and Nina's departure, it's their daughters who are trying to see the future. They are far less impressive than their mothers for now, of course. Maria is probably the best. It is good to see children continuing the life work of their parents. Why are you frowning? These clairvoyants terrify me. The things you'll see here are not subject to comprehension. They'll burst into your everyday routine, like the horrors of your childhood that have come to life. They'll thrash your logical thinking and disrupt every single part of you. The sharp mind of an analyst won't be able to warp around them. You can't even imagine. There's nothing in this world that could make me lose my mind.
No. A town like this can't give birth to a killer.
I know you're a doctor, a wonderful one at that. A celebrity medic. Everyone in our small town knew that a famous doctor was coming here. I'm very glad you really have, because I want you to do a certain good thing. Can I ask a favor of you? Please do. A few years ago, child death rate went through the ceiling here. 6 people died in a week. 10 or so went down with serious sicknesses. It made us worried, but unfortunately we couldn't find the cause straight away back then. In the end, it turned out that children were dying because of a game. What in the world? What kind of game kills children? They were playing, what did they call it? Well, it was some kind of medical game. They were stealing medicines from the adults and making some diabolical mixture out of it. Then they healed each other with it. Back then the game just faded into obscurity, but now I've heard they were contemplating doing it again. Someone has already been poisoned. Okay, but what for? I try to ask the children, but they don't trust us. They think we want to put an end to this dangerous game because we are mean and stupid adults that simply don't get it, so your arrival has come in very handy. So you want me to play with them and gain their trust. That's no simple feat. No, it's much simpler. There's a house somewhere in this town, either abandoned or just unoccupied. That's where they play hospital. That's where they store their horrible mixtures. Please use your standing and your celebrity name to put an end to this game. Capella Olgimski's daughter believes that the house will be unlocked today. I'll do my best, of course. How can I find the house? Capella mentioned it's next to one of the ruins. My friends couldn't hear them properly. Have you seen those stone stairway to heaven? I think you might even be able to see the house you're looking for from Ava Jan's window, but most importantly, it should be unlocked. Do you unlock houses at all around here? In exceptional cases or emergencies, yes we do, but generally houses are supposed to be locked up because they're occupied by several families. People aren't that scared of losing their own belongings, but they care about their neighbors. And now that everyone's so afraid of the man-eater, of course everything's locked. In that case, it won't be too hard to find. I don't think she says.
It's nice to see you.
A bad feeling too, although I'm not generally superstitious. I guess I'll go to this food shop, because if there's dried fish here, then maybe I won't, and maybe I'll go see Ava now. Because she's actually probably the most out of the way, more so than Anna. Oh my goodness. I can't open doors. Okay. There's some dried fish for me. Oops. Only time that I ever buy fish in the whole game. Because they're slightly less efficient than the other kinds of meat. So I'm gonna go head over to the cemetery. Check a couple of the trash cans back here as well. I guess I'll make this trade. I already checked those. Okay. Now it should have been 2 loaves of bread instead, but I already have 3 of those. I need 1 more fish and 2 more smoked meat. Worth every penny. Drop a save because it's been a little while. Okay. Funny that those guys are still there. A lot happens at the day change in this game. Let's see if this is replenished. I have my doubts.
I had a feeling you would come.
I found out more about our morning visitors. They turned out to be runaways. Can you imagine? What have they run away from? A jail, a bedlam, or a zoo, judging by their appearance? The Wilgimskis have closed the termitary again, and those who have managed to escape from there are now being hunted. Capella told me all about this. Some of them have run away, and some went into hiding somewhere in town, and Capella is worried. What is she worried about? Capella and Vlad the Younger are poles apart. Vlad's primary concern is the interests of the family, so the sister is worried that the brother will kill the runaway. She'd rather have him survive the night and escape into the steppe. Where could the runaways be hiding? In a hospice on Earth. Well, hospice is just a name, really. What are you planning to visit the place? Then help them escape into the steppe before Vlad sends mercenaries after them. That would be a good deed. We've had enough murders, haven't we? True, I'll see what I can do about it. Okay. So I don't really need to talk to young Vlad, but we probably will. So, did she even send us to Younglad's? Well, I guess I'll head straight through the park and hit all the chests again. I'll grab that dried fish, and then we'll go talk to Olgimsky. Capella, circle back around, talk to Younglad. Or maybe I'll even ignore Younglad today, because I don't need to meet him. I don't think he's part of any other quest. Oh, you know what? I just passed by that I was supposed to go to. I don't have 10, so it's no use even talking to her. I am going to check this entire house out. That was a great find. Food as always. My friend would be so jealous because he found like nothing in this house. And I just like loaded up on food. I am ecstatic about all of that. That was fantastic. All that stuff I just found. Watch me not find anything else in the rest of the house. Okay. I mean, so far I'm very happy with all that stuff. Very happy. Whoops. May I inquire as to how you found this place, sir? By accident. Why do you look so funny? We children are funny creatures, half human, half something else. Our inner world is off limits to the adults. You can't see our real faces just as you can't touch our dreams, which is why we need these scary heads. See how it all works? I see that you are here and you have no idea why that is. Or we're playing here. Rehearsing, actually. Also looking for something. We need it for the game. Nothing special, just some junk. Try again and try to be honest this time. Yeah, well, it can't be fixed now anyway. Alright, I'll tell you. Who knows? Perhaps you'll even be of help. The kids are in danger. We've come here to get schmouters, but someone has already looted the cache. Maybe it was Capella's doing. She's probably distributed them among her minions, the pagan. I don't understand a thing. How is it dangerous? The little ones are playing Epidemic again. They want to get their hands on these damn schmouters so very much. So now we need to catch the kitties, and I mean all the kitties in the town, one by one, and pry the schmouters from their hands. See, the common opinion is that schmouters can cure all kinds of ailments and stuff, but in truth they're deadly. Why were they produced in the first place then? An adult will only get off with a major poisoning. They'll have to stay in bed for a week or so, and that's it. But it spells doom for little kids. How are the children supposed to cure themselves then? Children. All children should come to our polyhedron. They'll be safe there. Oh, you mean that odd structure next to the crucible? Please don't tell someone's living there. The specular tower on the other side of the river. There is no death, no grief, no boredom, and no disease there. It is proven for certainty. For certain. Only dumbheads leave it voluntarily, if you ask me. You have to be an absolutely thick and heartless creature, lacking any semblance of imagination to refuse something of the sort. Alright, I get the general gist. Okie doke. Oh man. Told them to escape straight away without tossing a coin. Explain yourself. How are we supposed to find the schmouters now? Do we seriously need to detain every little kid in the street? But do we barter with them? What do we barter with them for? And we can't take the schmouters by force. Bullying is against the rules. Khan would totally bite our heads off for that. Schmouters as in powders? What are you talking about? Oh, powders. Powders, schmouters. Schmouters are sanative mixtures. They were invented during the first outbreak. The original ones were made by catchfly, but they were no good. The disease would pass, but the person would pass away along with it. But then Beaker's brothers made some nice ones. Crowfoots weren't too shabby, and neither were Flankies. What is the first outbreak? 5 years ago, something really creepy happened in the crude sprawl. People fell sick one after the other, and rapidly too. The whole district got infected in 24 hours, house after house. People would burst into sickness like matches burst into flames, and then like matches, they would burn from the inside. I was a little kid back then, only 6 years old, but I frequented the tower already. And then what? And then nothing. There were little to no casualties among the children. We were in the tower when it all began, but some kids just had to get out and make themselves busy with the whole outbreak business. Invent schmouters, for example, and it worked. It all went on for several days and then sort of withered all by itself, but the schmouters stayed. Can I speak to the inventor of schmouters? Nope, Beaker's brothers have grown up and left. Catchfly and Crowfoot died during the tests, back then I mean. This is why schmouters are so valuable. You can't reinvent them. You need to know the ingredients. Are there many left? Every single schmouter that we know of has been stashed away in a safe place here, so that no one would poison themselves. But here we are, no schmouters. Maybe it's for the best. I don't need fresh fish. Oh, a dried fish. I don't need to buy any more dried fish. I found so many good items in here. This is crazy. Jeez, and it's not even stopping. Let's say I'll pick up this fish. I'll pick up this fish eventually. Alright, so I found the powder. Should I talk to all of the dog heads? Where are you all going? I would have called to you to come to our place, but we can't. No adults allowed. That's fine, I'll live with that. Where did that other one go? Is this him? Seems like they left. Aha. Did I check these 2 canisters over here? I don't remember. I think I did, but I'm gonna check again. Okay. I don't think I have anything to trade with this kid. Nope. Ooh, there, little girl. Only one. I'm just checking the main ones. I am gonna talk to both of these drunks, however. Oh man, if this one has a bandage, I'm totally just gonna keep checking trash bins until I get enough. Okay, I need 3 waters. I think I have 1. One needle. I should turn my distance up. Ah, little girl. Alright, so I do have enough. So I need 2 more waters because I thought I had 1 already, but I didn't. Alright, I'm not gonna find them. And then find that drunk again, so that would be kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna duck in here, and then I'm gonna run around the theater to collect a bunch of bottles of water. Yes. 3 needles is fantastic. If I got a powder today, I would be so happy. Of course, I can afford one and she didn't have one. Of course. That's always how it goes. Timepiece. Okay, so we're back up. What was it? A bunch of bottles of water, so I was worried since we were almost out, so. Is that the same little girl? No, it was a different one. chase that drunk back down and see what he's got. Fill up this bottle of water while I'm at it. Because I think that puts us at 10. Then we'll be able to go to the old Gimskis. Up here. I might skip out on young lads. Oops. Oh, I should go talk to Lara. And I have to go meet Anna.
Why are my children like this?
Ah, Bachelor Dankovsky, of course. Who else could be so dapper? I've heard quite a lot about you. Have you taken a look around? Be sure to check the state of the industry around here. We have our own ways. I can't say I'm interested.
No. I won't believe in some earthen killer.
Yes, getting everything back on track won't be an easy task. Yes, it will be hard.
Many a mickle makes a muckle. There's no hurry.
I'd like to inquire about the fate of my colleague, Isidore Brock. About the manner of his death, to be precise. What are you implying? What is this manner you're talking about? Be so kind as to mind your own manners. I'd had nothing to do with it. They say that Isidore was murdered by a steppe demon, a Shabnakadir. There was that thingy, a talon they fished out from the wound. Right, a demon. Why didn't I think of it straight away? It was so obvious. No need to put on airs. Like, you know life. Scarcely off the train and full of scorn already. Oh, I know these big city manners full well. Yet the capital is 1,000 versts away, as is any other decently civilized place, if you catch my drift. And you didn't let me finish. Alright, I apologize for the sarcasm. Is your money where your mouth is, though? It's hard for you to believe it, isn't it? It used to be hard for many. Take my boy, for example, a scoffer if I ever seen one. And now even he believes it's real. He went off his head a bit. You're in the steppe now, esteemed sir. Eastern and backwards. The dead rise from their graves here. Clay dummies dance and bulls talk. Does he know the steppe well, that son of yours? He rubs elbows with the rabble, the butchers, odong, shepherds, and gatherers. Learns their tongue, collects their legends. He doesn't keep them in check at all. They even dare to come visit him within the premises of the town. If you see a worm creeping through the streets, he's definitely looking for my son. You call them rabble? They're dangerous, they're aggressive, and they hate everyone who isn't a steppe person. They'll jump you and kill you on the spot. They'll tear you up with their teeth and devour your flesh while you're still throwing fists at them. So if they're spotted within the town, countermeasures are taken. So of your son, perhaps he could tell me more about this creature. Hold your horses. You want to talk to my blockhead? No, you have nothing to talk about. He's not here, thankfully. I don't want you two to meet. You heard me? These are tradesman words, and I'll stick to them. I won't leave it at that.
So my Haruspex is the Ripper? Funny.
How do you think Simon died? I don't think he was murdered. How could he have been... How could he, who craved monocracy, not perish? He couldn't. Not in this place. Balance requires equilibrium. So Simon's course of action contradicted yours. Come now, what I'm saying is when someone takes too much upon themselves, they always end up ground down. That's how life works. But there were signs of an otherworldly visitor that night, weren't there? Simon lived a very long life. Very long. He was a worthy man, but long doesn't mean eternal, does it? No one is to blame for his death. Examine the body, you'll see for yourself. It just happened. I'll follow your advice.
Fortune turns all things to the advantage of those on whom she smiles.
don't like his voice. I think his voice from the original fit him a lot better. Eastdoor came by to see you last night. Don't try to deny it. So what if he did? What were you two talking about? Business, my curious friend. Purely business. I have no interest in other subjects. And it has nothing to do with you. And with that, I bid you, the door's behind you, the big one. I'll find out the truth anyway. And we can talk. We could follow that worm, and it does actually lead you all the way to young Vlad's house. Just as his father just told us.
The children no longer remember me.
I liked her original voice better as well. Look at this. If only my dear mother was alive, she'd take the reins of power in her hands. Even father would listen to her. But who is to take care of us now? Not Katerina, that's for sure. The mistress is too exhausted. Katerina is supposed to take care of you? Your mother, what was she? You don't know, my mother's Mistress Victoria. I was named after her. If only I have gotten her powers along with her name, no one would be trying to crawl underground out of fear now. People cling to Simon so much because they've forgotten what true protection is like. We'll manage.
It's hard for us to believe in things.
They made her bed prettier. That's silly. Go talk to Anna. No. What am I doing? But where can I find him? Okay, I'll go talk to young Vlad, and then I'll go talk to Anna. Actually, oh wait, I do need money on this day. Oh goodness. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to trade like crazy. I need 2K. I like can't even believe that I forgot about that. I don't need any money today. Goodness no. Buys a bunch of food. Ugh, I can't even like... That was stupid. Okay, being able to trade for a bunch of bandages will definitely help. Oh, these are starting to refill already. That's good to know. And he doesn't have anything. I could take younger Vlad's version of the one quest, because he gives us some money for it. We'll see how much I can trade.
Katerina thinks Claire is a messenger from heaven. Yeah, right.
You've found me here. Oh well, I'm not surprised. I suppose you're not too surprised by the fact that everyone knows about you either. The rumor of your arrival spread like fire. Why have you come? I've come for some sightseeing. It's a peculiar incident yesterday by the spleen. The children were playing in the mud as usual, but then suddenly they ran away from the sandbox and the parents noticed that their hands were smothered in blood. However, none of them were wounded. Neither were any of them surprised. What's the solution to the puzzle? When the worried adults came to the place where the children had been playing, they found nothing unusual there, only sticks and stones. What do you make of it? You children play peculiar games. Nice to meet a person of a skeptical mind. I am Vladislav Olgimsky, the younger one, of course. And you are, of course, Daniil Denkovsky. Yes, that is me.
There's this thing that needs to be done.
There always is. See how it all turns out. I used to keep this place secret, but all these secrets seem so childish now. What do you think about Simon's death? It is known that Simon had limited his social activity just before his departure. He only received 2 visitors. I know nothing of the first, but the second was none other than Isidore Barak. The fact that he was killed the same night makes you think, doesn't it? The killer took out a witness, or an accomplice. Isidore was a complicated man. Have I told you about his position in the kin? He used to be a very well-respected person there, and I can't say everyone liked it. What do you mean? Isidore wasn't a doctor, he was more of a herbalist. He never studied medicine. All his recipes were about plants and roots, so to speak. He was knowledgeable, true, a sorcerer, if you will, but a very different one from Simon, an earthen sorcerer. I've never heard that Simon used to be a sorcerer before. Simon was a theurgist. Isidore was a witch doctor. I'll start speaking your tongues myself soon.
Katerina thinks Claire is a messenger from heaven. Yeah, right.
Lad, now tell me, did Isidore visit you last night? Tell me the truth, please. Yes, Isidore did pay me a visit, but don't ask what we talked about. I have no right to share with you. It's because that would make you betray your father, isn't it? Yes, seems it's better to put the cards on the table with you. Whatever, I'll outplay you anyway. So far you're coming across a very smart person. You've talked to my father already. What do you know? Everything. Almost everything. All I want to know is where you come into play. Isidore said, note that I'm merely retelling it secondhand. He said there's an epidemic in the steppe camps. An outbreak of tarbagan. Sickness, perhaps. The plague, that is. Father had issued an order to lock the termitory up to prevent the infection from getting in. Do you think Isidore had already been infected when he spoke with you? He was wrapped in a cloth and smelled of spirit. He said these were preventative measures, but I still think he could have done all that just to convince me, after failing to convince my father. So he could have been infected when he visited Simon. We need to warn Reuben. It's very urgent. He is about to examine Simon as soon as the period of time required by the Canes passes, but where is he? I have no idea. Where is he staying? I don't know. There's a secret dissecting room in one of the warehouses, but no one knows where exactly. He used to live mostly in the steppe, sometimes sleeping in the termitory or in Lara Ravel's shelter, but he's not there. I know that for sure. He went away to mourn his master. What would you have done if you were him? I'd wait for him at the Canes. It's simple. Alright, but he's not at the Canes till 9, so we have quite a bit of running around to do before then. Especially since I need 2k to do Anna's quest. I have 182. I just picked up 3, so I have 185. Oh no, I had 182 after I picked it up. Darn. So, I need to trade for bandages. I'm gonna walk back through the town. Jeez, I'm gonna have to sell like everything that I have. And then some. I need to make some bank. Tourniquet. If she had had a powder, that would have made a bunch of money. I don't think these have refilled yet. Go back down this way. This way. I'm gonna go in that shop in a second. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go talk to that drunk. Have a powder. Yes. A powder on the first day. Could it go any better? I'm not here to buy things. So yeah, I guess I can always sell the powder. Sell one of those. Okay, there's 2K there. Okay. It would have been nice to sell the morphine on a different day, but yeah, I'll go back this way, I think. Okay. So we'll drop into Anna's first. And then hit Ospina's on our way to the cemetery. I'll duck in here really quick. Okay, he doesn't have what I need, so... It would have hurt so bad to sell a powder on the first day. Just because you could get so much for it late game. But, I would have done it if I had to. Just tomorrow, it'll probably be twice the price for that powder.
Have you met ominous people in circus costumes here?
Oh, that is really too much. Who the hell are you? Why have you donned this dreadful outfit? My name is Daniel Dankovsky. What's wrong with my outfit? It's snakeskin. Are you a performer? A circus actor? A tamer? Tell me the truth. Calm down, I'm a scientist, a professor, do you understand? I study death. I thought so, I knew someone like that would pay me a visit soon. How horrible. What's horrible? Everything. Everything's horrible. You came to, you know, after me, right? I have no idea what you're talking about.
My hair is disheveled and coming out.
So that man, he's like dead, right? He's dead, yes. It doesn't take a doctor to see that. Oh, I was so scared. He barged in here all bloody. I thought he was sent here, but he didn't try to attack me. Oh, just look at those hideous wounds. It's like he was cut with precision to mangle the body as much as possible. Who would do something like that? An experienced surgeon. Someone who knows anatomy. His sinews are cut. He was mumbling something to that extent. That's the hunt for Simon Kane's murderer going on, right? Well, they mistook this guy for the culprit, even though he was actually a hunter, not a huntee. It was Simon's murderer that wounded him so horribly, wasn't it? Why do you think the man himself is not the murderer? But he was going after the murderer. They tried to ambush him at the station in case he tries to catch a ride away from the town. And you know what? Their assumptions were correct. The guy did indeed come face to face with the murderer there. Here's the result. Okay, makes sense. So, what do we do now? Just don't you call anyone here, okay? Please, I'm begging you. If they find a dead man in my house, and that's hard to explain, but I promise I'll do so later. When we have the time. I didn't kill him, I swear, and I couldn't have mutilated him so horrendously. Hey, I'm not saying you're guilty at all. Whatever gave you that idea? Oh, many people would be more than happy to accredit this blood to my hands. They just need an excuse, a chance to grab me by the arm. And then they'll twist it so hard that I'll even confess. Just help me bury him, will you? I can see a spark of kindness in you. Go to the cemetery, tell the caretaker there's someone less than living in my house. And the caretaker won't go about asking any unnecessary questions. She isn't much of a talker. People even used to think she was mute, but she's so kind, a true angel. Some people would gladly die to be taken care of by someone like her. Is she underage or something? Since the old caretaker died, another dark story, huh? Anyway, his daughter is the one who's taking care of the cemetery now. Name's Grace. She'll see to this dead man as though he was still alive and kicking. Or I mean figuratively, of course. Okay, Anna, I'll help you get rid of the body, no questions asked. I'm expecting to hear an enthralling story afterwards. Okay. Nope, not where I want to turn. Next house. Oh, I ignored those trash cans. I probably should have checked them. Alright, I think that's the only tailor shop that I hadn't checked yet, so I think we're all good there. Is there 5? This one by Sabarov's house, that one, the one on the way to Julia's, the one near the theater, and the one by Maria's. So we're good.
Why is the termitary so loud? What are they celebrating?
Do you know where to find clean water around here? Fresh water must be plentiful in this place. There's a river close by. All the water comes from the steppe and it isn't exactly clean. Yesterday I inspected all the springs in the area. There seemed to be no more clean water around. That salty taste is everywhere. It's reddish in color and there are disgusting clots in it. Where can I find clean water then? The townsfolk store clean water in homemade reservoirs. This modest supply should be enough to help us last a little while, but afterwards we'll have to drink that bloody mixture. How disgusting.
Lies always turn out to be true. Don't mess with Earth.
What do you want, I wonder? There's a runaway hiding here. Take me to him. Why would I? He's in danger. I'm here to help. He's a butcher. He won't talk to you. You wouldn't understand him. He's been here for more than a day, but even I can't get him to talk. It is I who'd rather tell you something. What do you want to tell me? Big lad, he plugged the termitary up for a reason. The butcher's mumbling is all over the place. But if you listen carefully, you'll make out tales of such horrors that I get shivers all over. Thousands of people have lost their minds all at once there. Many have died. Something's brewing inside. Can you lead the runaway out of town? Really, why? Here he's entertaining me, and it's dangerous to go out into the steppe anyway. What if his pursuers rip me apart in the street? What if they think I'm a Shabnakadir? What can you offer me in return for the service? Lead him out, or he'll get killed. You can show me the door if you want, but thugs for hire will be less compliant. Fine, I'll take care of the butcher. He'll disappear. Consider him non-existent, but now you must leave. Don't try watching the door. You won't see anything anyway. And tell the Olgimskis thick-headed bloodhounds that they have no business here. I harbor no killers. Deal.
It's better not to ask. Silence is golden.
Was there anyone around that would want to see Simon killed? Heh, no one's seen the Shabnak yet, but everyone knows that what he wants already. You know that a man-eater's victim feels the encroaching death. They know in advance that they're next on his list, and so they walk about restlessly, waiting and waiting and waiting, and then the wait is over. That's how you can tell who's being hunted. You don't say. Why are you calling her a he? I don't believe the man-eater is a woman. Anything is possible, of course, but I think it's sexless. You seem to be well informed.
Why is the termitary so loud?
I haven't saved in a while. Turned out that on day 7 we ran into a bit of a glitch, so oh, peanuts. I would like to get through to day 7 as quickly as I can and see if the same happens to me or not. We'll see. What you need, kind sir? I'm looking for Grace. Where is she? Ah, the caretaker's gal. No Grace round here, as you can see. The place is completely graceless. What's your business with her, eh? I need to bury a man without unnecessary fuss. Aye, makes sense. Loads of sense. Putting someone 6 feet under without any roar and thunder. The process demands meticulousness, kind sir, you know that? How long since the stiff's gone stiff? I have no idea. You bring 2,000 here, kind sir, and we'll bury the devil himself, and sing a pretty tune for you to boot. Gotta put even the Shabnak a deer back to the ground for 2,000. The sum ain't pretty, I know, but the times ain't killer on the looks either. I can show the kind sir a way out, by the way. Well, you're a big city man, that I can feel a verst away. Your equipment would cost a fortune in our shops. The poor morons would give you their souls for it. They buy all sorts of crap anyway. I've got loads of money saved up right now. What with the train coming soon and all, but them folks are addicted to not starving, so they're gradually selling their stuff. You could become a rich man in a few hours if you play your cards right. The hell I will. Take the cash. The dead man's in Anna the singer's house. Just looking around. Okay. Who have I gotta get to? Okay, so I gotta go talk to Anna. I have to go talk to Lara. And I have to go talk to Eve. I'll go talk to Anna first, because then I don't have to come back here. I can go run around and trade for the rest of the day. I can actually go this way and loot a couple trash cans. More than a couple, it's 3. I only have 1, are you kidding? I couldn't even move sideways off of that trash can. I only have 2. That one had a bandage and everything. That's 2 that I haven't been able to get. It's sad. Run along pretty well. Just hear the cats thundering around upstairs.
I have this flush. My cheeks are burning, aren't they?
Oh, how can I thank you? I'd love to give you some sort of trinket as a token of my gratitude. A silver ring from your lovely finger would be more than enough. I'll take it as a sign of my... Then take it as a sign of my affection. No, wait, I've got a better idea. I'll give you several, so that they affect you even more. These are not just any trinkets. Never forget that each of them represents my feelings. I'll try. And some money.
When you look her in the eye, your mouth just kinda opens up.
I think the wind is changing. Why are there so many outsiders in the town? And I'd like to hear your honest opinion. Do you also find Simon Kane's death unnatural? No, not at all. How could someone living on, or perhaps even beyond, the edge of what's humanly possible not die? At least that's what the smart people are saying, not my ideas. So Simon loved to challenge limits and restrictions, I gather. Indeed, he loved it, and he was good at it. You could bury him underground for a couple of days and he'd be totally fine. He was pierced with iron rods once, too. One of them broke his chest, but Simon didn't die. Tricks like these would have been incredibly popular in a circus. Oh, I missed the man. So who could have killed him, an envier? It just occurred to me that he could have killed himself. Why? I don't know. There's no one else that could have done it. No one, and I mean it. Neither the biggest hater nor the most desperate beggar. I mean, in his case, suicide is a way more believable conjecture than murder. Are you sure? Nobody is to blame for his death. I honestly believe that Simon was doomed. What he did was too much for a single person to handle. I feel my leg being pulled. Okay. Goes and buys my morphinum back. That's what it was called in, I already went into that shop, so I'll ignore it. That's what they called it in the original, so... As long as he's not coming to attack me, he can attack whatever ladies he wants. I'm gonna save. A flower is a trade item for powders. So I have 5. use that. Okay, I have to go to Lara, so I'll go this way. And I can talk to this little girl. No, don't turn the wrong way. Okay. I didn't have enough waters anyway. Alright. So... probably save the watch that I have anyway. Gold rings are for lockpicks. Probably have time to use the lockpick today too. Be fun.
Dogs are howling. Why?
Well, I've found it. Unfortunately, the cache has already been looted. Oh, the terror. I found one specimen of the schmouters and I'm going to examine it. Give it to me. Let's throw it into the fire. I'll reimburse you for this loss. No, I'll keep it for myself. Somehow I feel like it may be of use later. I think she gives you like a lens or something. I don't remember. If you give it to her. I don't know why I keep saving. There's no like imminent danger or anything. Okay. So we're getting to be like about the end of the day. Like the end of like all the day quests at least. So we talked to Anna. We talked to Lara. I didn't get anything from her, but I'm gonna go talk to Eve. Actually, I could wait to talk to Eve, but you know, it's been a while since we've been up here, so I'm sure a bunch of the trash cans have replenished. So I am actually gonna walk around to all of the trash cans up here. So sorry for that in advance if it's a little meh to watch, but I can't really think of much to say. I don't think Ruben is supposed to be over here until 9, so I don't think I can even go in and finish the day out. Because the story is that he's out in the steppe mourning for the loss of Isidore, his longtime teacher. Getting stuck on the ground. Lots of kids to trade with over here. So I even have a good cache of bullets, which is fantastic. We've had a pretty good haul today. Did I check this yet? I can't remember. Okay, so we should get some more trade items from Ava as well.
My bedroom is warmer than this place.
I've done as you asked. The butcher has been guided into the step. I had no doubts you would. You are no killer, only to make you happy. Alrighty.
I had a feeling you would come.
The lady just dropped from the sky. So we have enough to trade with, I think. Oops. Wow, my food pouch is full. Can't eat that. A few Ameridorm. We'll run through the park. I'm pretty sure the next step for the day is just to meet Ruben. I can actually go to his warehouse. He won't be there, but we can go there. I was gonna drop in and talk to young Vlad and see if he had anything else to say after I turned in the quest to Eve instead. Ugh. I'm trying to resituate. Whoops. And I'm knocking the headset off. And I moved my keyboard awkwardly. And I'm like sideways. Just like nothing went well. When I tried to move. Okay. My cord is stuck on my... Actually, all cords are stuck like everywhere. A little bit. Don't see anything special. What time is it? 3. It's only 3. Oh my goodness. Alright, I need to... My headset was like completely stuck in my hair. Okay, move my keyboard a little bit. Alright. Let's see. I could sleep for a little while. Maybe I'll wait. The longer you sleep, like more it like compounds. enough for a powder. So if she has one, I'm gonna cry. Okay, good. I only have 5. Alright. I guess I'll run around the theater really quick. I think I'll break into a house just for the fun of it. That'll be a little bit more interesting to watch maybe than me running around looking for trade items. Hopefully around the theater here we will find 5 bottles of water to turn into that drunk before he escapes. Crumbs. So far we've found 2. I don't know if I had any. 3, 4. I say usually you get at least 5 around the theater. Oops. There we go. And there's one more. I just have to find that drunk now. He literally could have gone just about anywhere. They're very slow walking, so that's probably him. I'm gonna break into one of those. I am going to save before I go in. So you equip it, pull it up, use it. Get rid of your fists and enter. And no one ever thinks it's weird that you've just entered their house. Alright, so this isn't as big of a house as I imagined it to be. Oh, nice. Oh, very good. Alright. I think this was probably worth the lockpick. looking at me. Okay, so he can't reach me, so... Whoops. I'll take the gun off. Whoops. And try to punch him. Okay, so he didn't waste a second bullet. That hurt our reputation a little bit, but that's okay. One thing that I have been curious about is whether or not you can hit children in this version. It sounds like I'm hitting him, but he's not taking damage, I think. The lady is losing blood. So. Wow, she I think died from like 3 punches. 2 or 3. Our reputation was not so hurt from murdering 2 humans. Maybe you can't kill children, but it looks like in this version the thugs can murder children. So I got quite a lot out of going in there, so I'm pretty happy with that result. Yeah. That was definitely well worth it. It's only 5. That's not my quest log. I got a letter. Where are my letters? You must make haste. The sun will set in 4 hours. Unless you are able to recognize the Shabnak's guise, she will kill you before nightfall. Tarry not, I beg you. I am the only one who can tell you what the monster looks like. Meet me in the Rod outside the Tanner's district. Alright, so I have more items to trade for bullets. Revolver bullets are the ones that I want the most, but I'd rather trade the 3. The items that are priced for 3. That's the little girl we just tried to trade with, right? Oh, here's another one. I'm so confused. Did I already talk to both of these ones? No. I don't need to trade for shotgun shells. I wouldn't get a shotgun until like day 7, so... And I might not go that route. Oh, the shotgun's pretty nice.
Only in things of small value, they usually are bold enough not to trust to appearances.
Okay, so... I need a tissue soon. The only proper way for a duel to end is with the death of one of the fighters. That's what battles are supposed to be. Any conflict that has two sides inevitably turns into a battle of good and evil. Why are you telling me this? Never liked black and white mentality. I'm not speaking metaphorically or metaphysically, I'm talking about a very particular battle. You are one of the combatants, Bachelor Dankovsky. Do you favor good or evil? I favor winning. That's too vague a question. I cannot be more coherent. Details distort the core essence. They devalue the words. What you're saying is it will be I who is to adjust the details along the way, right?
Simon, to tame his impertinence, Earth had disgorged a monster from deep within its bowels.
You are a brave man, Bachelor Dankovsky. You are overestimating my virtues. This fight is very unlikely to end in your favor. Does a clay and bone man-eater leave traces of the kind you've witnessed? It's only a spell and illusion. They just prefer to see it this way. It makes it easier for them. Fight is too big a word. I'm merely assisting Georgie in his efforts to find the murderer. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you will have to fight to the death, even if it were a metaphor. The ending is still ambiguous. If you don't find out what happened before nightfall, you will die. I'll take that into account. This should not be your primary concern at the moment. You should concern yourself with the number of minutes you have left, and that number is dwindling. I don't throw predictions around. Others will tell you how often they have come true. Do heed my words. Fine.
Yes.
Do you also think Simon Kane's death was unnatural? No, not at all. How could someone who had absorbed all our blood not die? A single man cannot handle that. There are limits to a living being's vitality, and there are limits to the world's patience. So his death was inevitable, is that what you're saying? Who is to blame for his death? Even if someone did have something to do with it, is that person worth blaming? Most likely they didn't even realize that they were killing someone. Yes, that is how it is. Now I see very clearly. Oh yeah, you're a clairvoyant. Okie doke. There's a drink. Bleh. Whoa, little girl. Please trade with me. Ah, hazelnuts. Very nice. It's a powder item. Two of these little girls. one of you have a powder. Would be very nice. I can afford it. There once. Okay. So yeah, really all I have to do to finish the day out is talk to Ruben at the Canes in an hour. So I might run through the park one more time really quick. Let's see. Oh, I just had one. Okay, I wanted one more Maridorn for the day. I don't know if this is one of the little girls that I had already talked to. I'm not gonna go all the way around the theater this time. I'm just gonna check these. Okay. Seems like they're probably still empty from earlier. I think I'm gonna duck in here and out because I already talked to a couple of those little blonde girls. I'm gonna see if we can find another one. Just because it'd be really nice to be able to find another powder today. Powder, 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 come on. I've had like an inordinate amount of time left to just run amok today. I feel like I did very well today. It's a little crazy. I don't want to trade my needles away. Maybe once I have like a ton of them, it won't matter as much, but I can always go powder mining if I ever have that many, so. Get 3 or 4 powders all in one sitting. I don't think I want the shotgun shells. Bleh. thought it was much later than it was. I don't really need to go up in the day quite yet. Oh no, can I jump over this? Oh, okay. I should say if I had to go all the way back, I would have been mad. I don't really mean to come all the way up here either, but you know. I thought it was like 3 hours later than it was. I swear the one time I checked the time it was 7. Okay. I don't know if I want to spend like the next like 3 hours trading. Do I? Do I? I mean vaguely, just because I could get a lot of items that way and be very well set up for the first several days of the game. Powder! Come on! Where's our luck today? Trying to think of anything else that I could go run around and do. Is there a food shop that I haven't touched today? This one way out here and this one. Let's make our way over there. I want to see if I can get the last 2 smoked meats. And then I'll head over to, oh, that's right, I used the last item. So I don't have to look for those little girls anymore. It's 7 now. So I'm gonna head way over there. And then all the way back. Yeah, I'll go around that way. Why not? I just did like a circle. That was kind of funny. Finally. Now I'm starting to like be used to like seeing everything all plaguey in the later days. My friend and I are on day 7. just ended it, but we might redo it just because we're not sure if we can actually like get those 2 other quests done by redoing the day. Because there's just something weird happened and there was a quest that just wouldn't start. Did everything we were supposed to. Okay, let's see if we can get the last one at this shop. If not, then I just have 1 piece of smoked meat to buy tomorrow, which is not the end of the world, but it would definitely make the whole day super easy, because that one quest would basically just be done. And there it is. Let me get some peanuts out of this as well. Get an extra loaf of bread while I'm at it. Yeah, that was okay, it does not want me to have those crackers. I can actually grab that too, because it's so cheap today. This is a lot of food for the rest of the game. Like, this is a lot. So, I'm not gonna have to buy food for a while. Like, I am pretty well set. This is what happens when you're like a pro at this game. The efficiencies that I'm able to create are just like ridiculous. Exhaustion's getting pretty high, so seems to be. We'll see if Ruben's there a little early. You only need so many Meridorm, like, for the whole game, so... If I have 4, that might be, like, I might be set. Might not have to think of, like, items for, like, the rest of this game. That's gonna be crazy. Set myself up the first day for like some kind of ridiculous speed run or something. want to buy them. They seem like farther away for some reason. Might as well check a couple more. I keep thinking treasure chests for some reason. I haven't been playing any games where it's treasure chests in a while, so actually I haven't really played many games recently, so there's the polyhedron. We had some victors that were gonna want to be. Oh, he's here early.
Simon was doomed. No, I'd rather not believe this.
Greetings, friend. I heard news of your arrival. Everyone has. Are you here to examine the body as well? My dear colleague, I do hope you haven't touched it yet. I haven't. Is there a problem? Simon's body, wherever it is, poses a dire threat. I suspect he has died of a contagious disease. Are you sure? Well, doesn't matter anyway. If it's that thing again, what do you think it is? Judging from what I've found out so far, it could be fibrous typhoidea or plague. I suspect Yersinia pestis or something not too dissimilar. What can these steps be home to? I don't believe it. A second outbreak? Wait a second. I need to regain my senses. Are you sure about this? Do you mean what you say? I am and I do. If it's the sand plague, Master's death was so untimely. If it's the sand plague, we only have a few more days to live. You see, I have no idea how to stop it. No one does. So you're already familiar with the disease. I'm only making assumptions. I don't want to believe this. I'd rather have any other plague than this. We have no time to waste. The body must be inspected, isolated, destroyed if necessary. We must take protective measures for that, of course. We need your diagnosis before we can provide reasonable protection. At the moment, you can only buy yellow immunity boosters at the drugstores. They are no good. But I'll try to do something about this. We'll need to take some remedies from Master's old workplace. Do you know he was murdered by his son? An atrocity. His son has nothing to do with this. I presume Isidore was infected by Simon and died of the same disease, or vice versa. Let us not waste any more time. You're right, let's make haste. I'll get everything ready for the examination. Meanwhile, let's arrange for the body to be isolated. Kane is keeping it in a cold place. I'll keep you informed. Wish you the best of luck, dear colleague.
I haven't slept for 3 nights straight. I don't think I'll manage another one.
Don't worry about me. I know what Master would have done in my place. I'll just do the same as he did 5 years ago. Call for me if you need me. I'm staying at Avion's place. It's close by. Okay, so George Kane. And then, yeah, this will end our day. I might play a little bit longer.
I have a heartache.
Get through the, theater pantomime. I've been told of your initial verdict. You assert that Simon Kane was not killed by a human or a Shabnak demon, but died of a natural cause, or succumbed to some physical sickness. Is that what you were saying? I wouldn't say he died naturally. He died of a mysterious disease. Microbes are more efficient killers than demons. It is a hypothesis or a fact supported by evidence. It is a proven fact. What is your proof then? Show me the body, Judge, and you will have it. The body is in the focus of the crucible. You cannot examine it now, and I mean that it is technically impossible. No one may see the body before a certain period of time passes. Neither Master Reuben nor you, my dear bachelor, not even myself. And what am I supposed to do then? What can I ask of you now? You have come to a conclusion already, have you not? If you haven't, then I urge you to seek out the facts as relentlessly as we do. May Providence help us if you are right. Alright, let's wait for that period of time to pass. Alright. So we're done. The initial findings suggest that Simon Kane was killed by a highly contagious disease. It seems I will not be the first to meet the killer. Dr. Reuben has better chances at that. I just cannot help but think that Katerina's prophecy to come true. That if it were to come true, it would have made the situation even more convoluted than it already is. Alright. So... oh, I guess I should go over to Maria's and sleep, huh?
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theater. The theater.
Alright. I'll save one more time. Alrighty. Punch a thug to death. I'm gonna let him kill this person and then I'm gonna shoot him. Music's making me think that there was another one. Cries. Alright. That went pretty well. So I'll drop another save. I mean, I don't really like walking around with my gun, but I probably should. It's nighttime. I don't know why that thug didn't see me. Alright, I don't want to pass this guy with a gun out. Okay. I mean, I have enough bullets. If I was Barack. Wow, that one had a lot of money. I don't know if I want to save my health all getting taken though, on accident as well. I did get to trade for a bandage though. And I can always use a Maridorm. The next time I sleep though, so I'm gonna have to go through this whole day without any health. Yeah, I think I might go back. It's curiously taking quite a while to load. Yeah, I was gonna say for a second I thought it might not load. So here's to hoping that that drunk still has a bandage for me. Things are already a little different out here. Nope, tourniquet. Ah, she doesn't have any of her rings or anything. Hopefully he'll attack that guy, and the guy might actually kill him. Stop. Because of the rain, he probably won't see me. Even if I'm pretty close. I don't know why drunks are like that, but it's definitely helpful. Whoops. I thought that was a drone up there. Oh, there are two. Whoa. I mean, I guess I could save out here. And then go and murder. Where? Okay. really let me line up that shot. That was like almost not fair for him. He just kind of sat there. He even got the drop on me, basically. Alright. Now we're back to square one.
Today, the killer was identified. Its nature turned out to be completely unexpected.
The enemy is found and named. It's called the Sand Pest. The contagious plague is threatening to ruin everything here.
How can a killer like this be punished? How can a villain like this be struck?
He can't. It's impossible. By pulling a knife on it, you'll just cut an innocent body.
I think I should go. Nothing to be done here anyway.
You should go. Go then. Wherever you please. Shoo!
Mark never says anything. I'm gonna call that good for day one. So thank you for watching. I will save this video, leave it up. But yeah, I'm gonna continue through. This is silly HD version. Keep making our comparisons, like Grace versus Laska, stuff like that as we go along. So yeah, more to come for sure.